Hi family, welcome back. In today's recipe, I'm going to be sharing with us how I make this rich and yummy chin chin. Yes, it's so nice. And if you have school children that are going back to school, trust me, you have to sit down and learn this recipe. Your kids are going to thank you for making these snacks for them. So here I have a cup of milk, half teaspoon of salt, and I have a half cup of milk flavor, and yeah, almost 1 cup of sugar, and a nutmeg, and half bucket. This is half pinta, or rather 10 cups of flour, 4 eggs, 200 ml of evaporated milk, and 250 grams of butter. Okay, these are the ingredients I'm going to be using. Now it's time to mix them all together. I first of all start with the flour and go ahead with the dry ingredients. That is the sugar, the powdered milk, the milk flavor, and also the salt. Yes, I add up everything and mix them together. Please guys, yeah, as always, remember to follow my page, drop in a comment section where you're watching from, and give this video a like. Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're seeing this video on YouTube. Okay, here is a nutmeg which I grated, and it's time to mix everything together. And after mixing it, also I used 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Yes, I use one. Is it teaspoon? This is tablespoon. So after mixing the dry ingredients, it's now time for me to add the butter. Yeah, this is a very crucial time in making this changing. You need to be careful with the quantity of butter you're using so that it will not be too kind of moist. Okay, now after adding the butter, that is the way I check if the butter is okay for the quantity of flour. After mixing it, you kind of put it in your hand and press it. If it doesn't scatter easily, that means the butter is enough. But if you press it together like this and it's too sticky like too gummy, that means the butter is too much. You might need to add more flour. So at least right now it is just best. Good. And it's time to add the evaporated milk and the egg. Okay, add everything, mix it together, like, and also add some water. I think I used about 300 ml of water here. Yes, that's what I added, but I added it a bit by bit so it doesn't get too much, but I ended up using the whole 300 ml of water. I add it now and allow it to sit for 1 hour. After mixing it together, I'll cover it and allow it to sit for 1 hour before coming back to it to do the final mixing and kneading. Okay, here it is right now after 1 hour. So I just go ahead and knead it very well on my workspace. Remember, when you're kneading it, you might need to spray some flour so it doesn't get too sticky. But the consistency is just as perfect as I want it. So after kneading it, then it's now time to start kind of cut my chin chin. Okay, so to cut it, I'm using a bottle to improvise. You can get your ruler if you have it, but I don't have it, so I'm using a smart bottle, wine bottle. I'm going to rub it off with flour so it will be easy to come off, and it doesn't stick on the bottle. So now my dough, I have to kind of put it on the surface and roll it, make it very flat before I'll go ahead and start cutting it. You may need to make it as flat as possible so it doesn't get too thick. You know, it's chin chin, it doesn't need to be big. All right, so here is it. We're trying to flatten it, make it as flat as possible. And now with my cutter, it's time to cut the chin chin. Cut it to a desired size, shape, however you want to cut it. So I'm going to cut my own in a rectangular form. That is how I always prefer to cut my chin chin. Some of us watching this video has not given this video a like. Come on, what are you still waiting for? Like this video, share it, drop a lovely comment. You need to support your girl. Yeah, please like, share, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Precious Cook, and also remember to follow my page on Facebook and even TikTok. Yeah, please do that to support your girl. All right, so at this point, I've finished cutting the chin chin. This is just how I'm going to cut all the chin chin. I'll cut everything at the same time and bring them out, still using the flour to kind of not to let it get too sticky. So into my very hot oil. The oil has to be hot. Then I'll start frying on a high heat or medium heat at first before you now reduce the heat. Okay, now when putting the chicken inside the hot oil, make sure not to add too much. You have to give it some space because it's still going to rise. It's flour, it's still going to rise, so you don't need to put too much. Then I'll fry it. I like to stir it frequently so it doesn't get too brown more than I like it. So you just have to fry it, fry it till it becomes golden brown. That is when you know that your changing is ready. Okay, so at this point, as you can see, the color is already changing and it's turning to how like it's turning to golden brown. And once it's golden brown, I bring it out from the fire, lower the heat where you're bringing it out so the remaining ones doesn't get burnt before you finish bringing everything out. So I bring it out. I like to use a paper towel or whatever on the surface of where you're transferring it to so it can be absorbing the oil immediately. So after I bring everything out, then the first thing you need to do is you're going to go and spread it on your surface. If you have a carton, if you have thick paper, that is fine. You can use it to spread it and allow it to cool. Okay, yeah, you spread it on its surface and allow it to cool, get cool, and also to dry. All right, guys, so that's how I'm going to fry all the remaining chin chin. They have bucket of flour that I cut already, so you fry in a hot oil, kind of deep frying until it's golden brown. When it's golden brown, then you take it out from the heat and spread it on a surface, on a paper, anything that is convenient for you. You spread it and allow it to dry. No, allow it to cool off rather. So that is how I'm going to do it for the rest of the chin chin. Now a take home. One thing you need to know about chin chin that is made with eggs is doesn't really come out so dry, very, very crispy, but it's still dry and crispy, but not as very hard. Yeah, it has some level of softness inside it and is usually very tasty. Using eggs to make chin chin is usually very nice. All right, so this is it, everything, and I've transferred into a bucket. I got one bucket plus out of it. All right, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more recipes, snacks, back to school snacks.